Right now, someone is using your own conscience against you, and you don't even see it happening. Somewhere today, you swallowed a want. You wanted to say no, and you said yes instead. You wanted to walk away, and you stayed. You wanted to chase something bigger, and a voice inside you whispered, "Who do you think you are?" That voice is not yours. That voice was planted. You have been taught since you were a boy that ambition is dangerous, that wanting more makes you selfish, that hunger is something to be ashamed of. And so, you learned to shrink. You learned to apologize for taking up space. You learned that the fastest way to be loved was to be small. But smallness was never love. Smallness was control, wearing the mask of kindness. The people around you, the ones who benefit from your obedience, they did not need chains. Guilt was cheaper. Guilt is silent. Guilt does the work while you sleep, and it never asks permission. This is where Friedrich Nietzsche walks in, uninvited, unwelcome, because he refused to let men lie to themselves. He looked directly at the herd, at the comfortable morality that keeps men docile, and he called it what it was: a slave's leash, dressed up as virtue. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live for can bear with almost any how." He understood that a man without a reason to want more is a man who can be led anywhere by anyone for any purpose but his own. The first lesson is this: guilt is a leash disguised as morality. Think of the friend who calls you arrogant the moment you start improving yourself. He does not hate you. He hates what your growth reveals about his own stagnation. The dark psychology here is simple. Guilt redirects your energy away from your goals and toward managing other people's comfort. The practical action is to notice the exact moment guilt appears and ask one question: whose comfort am I protecting right now, mine or theirs? Drop this in the comments. My ambition is not a crime, it is my right. The second lesson is that approval is a currency you were never meant to spend your whole life earning. Picture the employee who works twice as hard, waiting for a boss to finally notice, finally say, "Well done." That employee is not building a career. He is feeding a hunger that can never be satisfied by someone else's mouth. The dark psychology is that people who withhold approval on purpose keep you working for a reward that never arrives, because a hungry man is an obedient man. The action is to perform for your own standard first and let approval be a bonus, not a wage. The third lesson: weakness is often rebranded as humility. A man says nothing when he is disrespected, and he is praised for being humble. But Nietzsche saw through this trick centuries ago. He knew that a morality built entirely around self-denial serves the ones who benefit from your silence far more than it serves your soul. The real-life example is the man who never negotiates his salary because he was taught that wanting more money is greedy. The company does not call this greed when they keep the difference. The action: ask for what you are worth without flinching, without apologizing for the question. Drop this in the comments. I stopped confusing silence with peace. The fourth lesson is that your suffering is not proof you are broken, it is raw material. Every man who has ever built something worth having has passed through a furnace first. The dark psychology at play in modern life is that comfort culture teaches you to numb pain instead of extracting meaning from it, because a numb man never rises, he only scrolls. The real-life example: the man who gets rejected and spends a week doubting his worth instead of one day sharpening his approach. The action: when pain arrives, ask it one question: what is this here to teach me? Not, why is this happening to me? The fifth lesson: the people who call you arrogant for chasing your goals are often terrified of being left behind. This is not always malice. Sometimes it is fear wearing a friendly face. But intention does not matter. Impact does. The real-life example is the group of friends who mock the one who starts waking up at 5, hitting the gym, building a business on the side. They are not laughing at him. They are grieving the version of themselves they abandoned. The action: keep moving and let your results answer questions your mouth never has to. Drop this in the comments. Their comfort is not my responsibility. The sixth lesson is about self-created values. Nietzsche's entire war was against inherited morality, values handed to you like a uniform you never chose to wear. Most men live by a script written by their parents, their church, their culture, their fear, and they call this script their personality. The dark psychology is that a man who has never questioned his own values is the easiest man in the room to manipulate, because you cannot manipulate a value someone actually chose for themselves. You can only manipulate an inherited one. The action? Take one belief you have never questioned and ask, did I choose this, or was it given to me? This knowledge is for protection, not destruction. You are not being taught to harm others. You are being taught to stop being harmed without knowing it. The seventh lesson, the final one, is this. Guilt only works on a man who still believes his ambition needs someone else's permission. The moment you stop asking for that permission, the leash falls off, because there was never a lock on it to begin with, only your belief that there was. Drop this in the comments. I do not need permission to want more.
Feel this now, because it is already happening. The old you is dead. The version of you that apologized for wanting more, that shrank in rooms to make others comfortable, that traded ambition for approval, he is gone, and he is not coming back. You are a weapon, pointed at your own future, sharpened by every guilt trip you ever refused to fall for again. You belong to no one. Not the friend who resents your growth, not the boss who profits from your hunger, not the voice in your head that was never really yours. You belong to yourself, fully, without apology. If this reached something in you, subscribing is not a favor to me. It is a decision you make for the version of yourself that is still becoming. Stay if you are ready to keep building. Leave if you'd rather stay comfortable. Either way, the choice was always yours. Here is the question I want you sitting with tonight. If no one had ever taught you to feel guilty for wanting more, what would you have already built by now?